Cherokee 274 RK here at Haylet RV of Coldwater, Michigan. This is our best-selling non-bunkhouse Cherokee, so much so that for the past 6 months, we have not been able to keep it in stock, and I mean that without exaggeration. For the past 6 months, every time we reorder 2 or 3 of these at a time to be sitting here in our dealership so I can shoot a video to show you folks, they are pre-sold before they arrive. We've been pre-sold out. So finally, one of these comes in, and what's kind of cool is it came in after the late 2017 updates hit. So at the time of this filming, this is the most current generation thing. This is after all the little late season updates have come through. Not a lot of massive changes, but when you're Forest River's best-selling travel trailer and you're growing in market share faster than any other trailer on the market, well, I don't know that you really need to, you know, change the recipe. Colonel's original recipe is still out there, and that's his original recipe. Now I want KFC. So, 6,500 pounds, and if at any point you like what you see here, you want to learn more about it, especially you folks just on YouTube, I leave you a link. It says click for price and availability. It'll show you if I have one in stock, how it's equipped, and what we're asking with the current equipment and discount packages. I try to make everything current and transparent, you know, for the trailer that we have here, not a theoretical trailer like a car commercial. Little smart detail stuff like this is why I think Cherokee has a good service record and a really high customer satisfaction rate. Like, things you don't realize, like the way that they treat the wood on the baggage doors, anti-wicking material there, so it doesn't soak up water and you know, sponge up and mold and get wrecked, R-E-K-T, wrecked, as the kids say. I say that a lot, actually. Little things like that are nice. It's a little detail they put into this that a lot of brands don't, that help add to the quality and reliability of it. There is a little solar prep on the front. That is almost like what I call a gimme feature, like everybody's got that nowadays. I've done videos on solar prep if you're curious about that, what that means, what it doesn't. Cherokee has actually kind of redefined some aspects of this category, that is the conventionally constructed family class camper. And things like this with the smooth aluminum nose sweep. You're watching other brands copy Cherokee on this big time. And it has some cool benefits. The nose skin is 250% thicker than the sidewall. It's the same thickness as a diamond plate. The whole nose effectively is diamond plate, and it's painted, so it's not going to chalk and fade like a common fiberglass nose sweep can. The other thing is that it's I mentioned stone deflecting, but it also doesn't tend to want to buckle when it gets concave from the wind, you know. It'll deflect headwinds, basically. Now, this is a limited series, which a lot of Cherokees are nowadays. It used to be more of an exclusive thing, but they opened it up to most of their dealerships, and it seems like everybody has that now. But basically, there's a lot of small, subtle, fun, family-friendly features. Well, there's a lot of F's that go into this all at the same time. Like power awning, power tongue jack. The awning has a really cool neon blue LED light system at night. It looks sweet. Outside utility shower to hose the kids off. Now, we tend to enclose the holding tanks of our Cherokees. These tend, at least at our dealership in our region, by the way, seal gripping slide walls so that you don't have water penetration here. They do a good job of pulling those seals all the way around. But we enclose the tanks because the people in our neck of the woods who tend to camp in Cherokees tend to be casual spring, summer, fall campers. It's very inexpensive to just close off the tanks, and that gives you that protection from like a freak frost or a freak snap freeze you weren't expecting or predicting. And hey, you know, God knows the weatherman gets it wrong from time to time. I get it wrong from time to time for sure. But the point there is that this is going to take care of you in the real camping season, you know. Now you also see that Cherokee is good for a couple things. Biggest in-class windows. They are not shy about putting serious glass on this sucker. And you see that those giant windows open for ventilation to give you good airflow. Something Cherokee brought to the market a few years ago. It's not like nobody else had ever done it, but no one ever really bit into it mainstream. And you're seeing fifth wheel brands do it now. Is this little folding travel rack. You do not need to peel the spare tire off that to use it. It's got like a 200-ish pound capacity. It's good for like bikes and coolers and all kinds of good stuff. The thing that I like about this floor plan is that it does all of the things a traditional rear living room trailer does, like a 27-foot rear living, except I think it does them better. And this floor plan is catching on like wildfire. It's not a new layout by any stretch. It's actually a very old floor plan in the world of RVing. But it's had this phoenix-like rebirth. It's just exploded from out of nowhere and caught on fire. And I think the reason is people are understanding, you know, rear living room will give you those nice 2 rocking chairs in the back, or swivel chairs or whatever, and then a big window on the back wall. But tell me what a back window is staring at. It's usually the camper behind you. It usually doesn't do you any good. Now, campsites can vary, and that's not always true, but most park campers, that is true. Rear kitchen gives you the same window, gives you the same chairs, except it's under your awning looking at your campsite. This is where your picnic table and your fire pit and everything is going to be. This is where you want to be looking. This is the money side of the trailer, you know. It also gives you way more storage and way more counter space. Now, another thing I like for rear kitchens is they tend not to have any slides on the door side of the RV, so they're very park friendly if you want to throw a little deck or something on here. Plenty of picnic table room. This is also an easy pitch awning. You can pull the awning arms with just 2 fingers and it'll just stay there. And if you forget it's cranked down and you rolled in, it'll straighten itself out, then roll back out flat. You can crank it down again. It's pretty cool. We don't tend to include TVs with our Cherokees because we find that we can install them cheaper aftermarket if you feel you really got to have one before you go camping. We can do all that stuff, but we find that it's just less expensive to do it aftermarket than from the factory currently. You also get a better grade TV usually. Now, I like that they broke the mold and they went with the little neon blue awning lights. Now, I'm shooting against the sky in a daytime backlight, so they don't seem impressive. But at night, when the awning's rolled out and the bottom of the awning's white, this whole sucker glows. And just for kicks, they LED backlit their speakers too, just for fun, and it looks cool. If you do put a TV in, the same bracket can be found inside in several places of the RV, so you can float it around one TV all over the place. Friction hinge entry doors, that's another thing that Cherokee brought to the mainstream, and you see used even on big luxury fifth wheels now, and they're awesome, and I'm glad for it. These things, you saw that it catches itself. It does not slam against the side of the trailer. Also, it can open further because you don't need a big door stopper sticking out there, so it's just a open, wider, cleaner campsite without that sharp corner sticking out at you here. I've had my picnic table set up right behind this chair once, or door once, and I backed up into that thing. I gotta tell you, I let out some words that I don't think the neighbors appreciated. It was a little reflexive, just kind of snuck out there in very loud Tarzan-like fashion. So, something before I kick on the main cabin lights, I want to point out this little light up here. Now, once again, with the light pouring in through these windows, it doesn't seem terribly impressive, but this little indirect accent light here above the slide out, one, it just looks pretty cool. But at night, if you have kids or grandkids sleeping on your couch, your dinette, whatever, or just on the floor with a blanket or an air mattress, this is the perfect night light. It's also good for, you know, mom and dad. It gives you that perfect, like, air traffic controller light to sneak in and, you know, knock out some of the leftovers out of that fridge. But it gives the kids an easy way to get to the bathroom at night. So, this is, they recently updated what they call the Cherokee Super Kitchen. We'll get dug into that more, but they added a ton of lighting to that kitchen. There's as much lighting in just the kitchen as there is the whole cabin. And it really makes a difference over there. They also did the same thing to their entertainment centers, because the, one thing I'll say is, like, with these big windows, their living rooms were always lit up nicely, but the kitchens and the entertainment centers always felt a little dark, and they fixed that. That's the thing. They listen to feedback, and they do an amazing job. So, central floor heating, and they're using the nicer metallic floor vents, because that is directly in the path of the entry door. That is a main walkthrough. You're going to walk all over that. These things do not tend to break down over time the way that a plastic one will. It's a little thing. We might be talking 35 cents difference from the manufacturing end, but it's one of those peace of mind, and I don't have to replace it sort of things, you know? Like the fact that they use 5/8 tongue and groove plywood floor decking, the fact that they have a 3/8 decked walk-on roof that holds like 2,800 pounds or some silly number. There's things under the skin, like the fact that they have a best-in-class average 12-inch on-center wall stud system. Some studs would be a little bit further apart, but on the average, they mathematically equal out to about 12 inches apart. That's a best-in-class thing. There's a ton of meat on the bones of this thing. And then we still have good features to look at on the surface, too. So, you know, small material choices and reliability. And you'll see the same thing here. Anytime you see a countertop material, whether it's the entertainment top, tabletop, kitchen, bathroom, it's all a sealed edge pressed membrane. It's waterproof. You can walk in, set an iced tea here, the sweat can dribble down it, and this thing will not sponge up and swell up. You know, it's just a better material, and that's all they use anywhere in this, basically. Any top, countertop, tabletop, whatever top. You see a lot of brands are doing this little fold-down armrest sofa thing. Once again, thank Cherokee for it. They were the only ones doing it for a year. So it can just be a normal full-length sofa that you can sit on, or you can kind of have like a little theater seat environment going on. Cherokee has also gone absolutely bananas with their USB plugs. Anywhere you could possibly sleep, they got plugs. Now, they even have double USB plugs on both sides of the bed up front, so that, you know, everybody can charge their phone on their side of the bed, which is nice. I talked about the monster windows, quick mention of those again. Obviously, dinette folds down into a sleeper. One of the, 4 massive comprehensive upgrade bundles we put on these adds these big 42-inch dinette mega drawers. You have 100% access to all of your dinette seating storage without telling people to get up and without having to wrestle the tabletop. It's just easier. They just make it easier. Camping's supposed to be simple, fun, easy, and reliable, and those are the best descriptors of a Cherokee camper I can give you. The pantry back here, this is something that they've adopted across the board. They went with a bigger, wider, real pantry. Very much like a home pantry. Not these toothpick thin pantries, but something the size of a refrigerator. I mean, literally, it's the size of a refrigerator. Actually, it's bigger, it's taller. As we look around here, let's get dug into the Cherokee Super Kitchen I mentioned. You see that skylight up there? We're going to start from the top and work down. This adds a lot of ambient light, as if these giant windows weren't enough. But if it's a little warm that day, you can sort of pull that shade, you know, pull the heat down. I mentioned all the lighting they added. They did these vertically beveled glass cabinet doors just to break up the monotony of a flat cabinet tone. And it was a little thing, but it was everything. It's really exactly what they needed. Then they complemented that with about a half stainless package here in the kitchen. Now notice their countertops. I mentioned that sealed waterproof stuff earlier. Well, that allowed them to recess the sink and the stove to give you max countertop space. So a rear kitchen already has great countertop prep space. Now it has even more. And this is just a interesting thing that they do. Instead of 3 small drawers, they do 2 big ones. Some people like the fact that you can get some bigger stuff in there. It's just a little easier for them to manipulate, I think. These countertop sink covers, by the way, are solid. You can actually really use those for counter space. So here's those 2 chairs I mentioned with that same big window that rear living rooms have, except now we just get more windows, more light, more countertop space, same seating. And these are full lie-back recliners. These things can actually lie back a little further. They're perfect little nap-in chairs. I tell you what, you open these windows and get some cross breeze going on a little spring or fall day, it'll put you right to sleep like a baby. Entertainment wall, they use like almost like a reclaimed barnwood accent wall. That whole length of that thing, even if you open those cabinets. And that's something I like. They didn't just like false panel it up top. The whole wall is that way. They were very complete in their you know, work on that. So again, we can put a TV here if you want. It can float inside, outside, bedroom, wherever. This is something else I thought was really nice. I find these in Cherokees all the time. This is their in-house quality check sheet, basically. And it shows you where, like, they went through and they checked all these major items and major systems, and they found where there were a couple manufacturing little defects here, like around a cabinet door, they found a gap. So they had all that adjusted right at the factory level. And I love seeing that, because I can tell you guys, there are some brands that just don't quality check stuff before they ship it off to a dealer. They expect our warranty department to take care of everything. We just don't have that kind of record with Cherokee, and that is one of the things I respect most about these guys. They, for the high volume they put out, they've had a very good service record. A lot of brands have had good records in the past, and once business got really good and they got busy, I've seen some of that taper off. Cherokee stayed super good and consistent. They've actually gotten better the last 2 years. You know, so when they got busy, they actually got better from a reliability standpoint. So we've got a dual entry bathroom here, and something I like is the bathroom is right next to the main entry door. So it's just easy come and go. If you need to hop in and out real quick, you don't have to worry about the slide outs. This is a very easy floor plan to use with the slides closed, actually. That's one of the nicer things. If you absolutely have to get to the fridge going down the road, this being an electric 12-volt slide where either the battery or your vehicle can power it, you can bump the slide 6 inches, get to that fridge, use the entire RV, and close the thing back up. It's easy. So, when we walk in here, I also like their little area spotlights. They have just that nice little click push button method there. This is a foot flush stool, by the way, so you don't need your face near your business. This bathroom design has proven itself successful time and time and time again from almost every manufacturer. And something I love about the Cherokee version is they gave you the biggest linen cabinet of anything else in this class in this floor plan. Because this floor plan is very common. A lot of brands build this. But you don't have to go dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh to get a towel from your bathroom, you know. Nice corner shower with a big skylight, and Cherokees are going to come with the bigger Max Air fan. And that is why they slot these doors right here, so that you can leave all these windows open, even in the bedroom, leave that fan on, and it will cycle the air through the trailer, even when the doors are closed and you have full privacy. And I love these giant big windows they have in here. Lots of extra light. It's not a specific name brand or anything, but they have bulked up their mattresses. It's about 50% thicker than it was. Still a camper bed, but a lot nicer than it used to be. And that's something I could respect too. They did a good, and I don't really see where they went through a price increase. They just gave you better stuff, basically. They're doing such volume, they could afford to give better materials like these nicer bed linens and things. These are really nice. You know, they didn't do in the past, but they're doing so much more business now at Cherokee, they can afford to take a little slimmer slice of the pie and you know, continue to be a big monster sales machine that they are. So we've got dual element reading lights up here, which are becoming super popular in fifth wheels, but usually at mom and pop level trailers like this, you don't tend to see nice stuff like that. Both sides of the bed have household and USB outlets, so charge whatever and plug in whatever you want right by the bed. And if you do want to add a TV to the bedroom, pow, you're all set to do that right up there. So, like I said, this is the best-selling non-bunkhouse Cherokee that we have, and for good reason. You know, we're pre-sold out of this thing with regularity. It's an absolutely stellar floor plan, and at 6,500 pounds, well, pretty much any tow package equipped truck can zipper down the road. And that's another thing. If you don't know what your truck can handle, call us, because we do. We actually specialized in pre-owned auto sales before we got into RVs and became by far the largest RV dealer in southern Michigan, but the largest independent dealer in the state, period. In, well, 3 states around us, actually. We've grown a lot. But, you know, we have the full service departments to take care of you. We have full parts and accessory departments. Hitching, pieces, parts, financing, trades, trucks, package deals. We only do everything, so you don't have to. So, take care, stay safe, have fun, and happy camping, everyone.